Hey everybody, welcome back.
The news?
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh, dang it, sorry.
You're fired. What did you say?
I was gonna ask, how is it that like newscasters, they always pose and they're not even smiling. They're like
No,
they
like,
just have this, but they look happy yet they're not smiling. It's like I do.
Do you think we get sponsored by Coca-Cola?
Wait, will you have to blur that out?
No.
Oh, okay, cool.
No. Dude, that'd be awful.
Yeah, I would imagine.
No, we don't have to blur it out. Okay. Are you gonna interrupt me again?
Nope.
I'm ready.
I got it out of my system.
All right. I was waiting for Shane to do it. Hey everybody. Wait, no, I don't want to do that. Thank you, Rob.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to have to burp. Oh, wait. No, I'm not. Now I'm going to have anxiety the rest of the time about burping.
And mute.
I'm not going to burp. I lied.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Nonsense.podcast. As you can see, we're wearing the same clothes that we wore in the last one because it has only been about 22 minutes. Yeah, so we're just recording two of them just to get them kind of out of the way. Plus, Mykah lives in Chicago, so we wanted to get as many in as we could while she was here. You guys, we might start doing some on Zoom, or probably not Zoom, but like some sort of video messenger. We're going to send you a microphone in Chicago, and then you'll plug it in your computer and then send us the audio, and we'll get it all on there. So
Can Mykah live in the TV?
Mykah will live. Well, she'll live in the computer. Yeah, she'll probably. There? Yeah, she'll live in the TV.
That's cool.
Up there. Yeah, she'll live in the TV up there, provided that we can continue to shoot here.
Yeah.
If they don't kick us out. But yeah, so I thought we could continue from what we did last. How often are we going to do these? Every 2 weeks, probably.
Yeah,
From the last
guess.
episode, whatever that was. And I wanted to continue to get to know each other, so I kind of wanted to start it with stories from your past. But let me back up, Shane. Edit this so that it sounds good. But first, how are you guys?
I'm doing well.
Wait, we've been together for 22 minutes. I don't want to fake it. We already know how each other are. Anyway, so I wanted to.
How are y'all? How are y'all doing? How are y'all really doing?
I just really want to check in for a moment.
Mykah, how are you doing?
I'm good, honestly.
How are you really doing?
No, I'm really good.
Oh, you're
honestly.
supposed to like start crying.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Oh, take two.
Don't push me too hard because I'll really just let it go.
Shane, how are you doing?
Pretty good.
How are you really though?
Pretty good.
But like for real though.
It's like you're just like.
I'm at least good.
We're wearing him down. But for real though, how are you doing? Everything sucks.
Well, the other day he was on the phone with Dylan, and I don't think I was supposed to hear this, but he literally goes, "I got to get out of here."
Oh, at his job.
No,
Who's the house?
at home with me.
Oh, Shane said that.
Yeah, Shane said that. He
Listen.
goes, "I got to get out of here."
I got this dang house.
I really legitimately have my dream job. Okay.
Oh, that's good to hear.
I do.
You're welcome.
Any issues I have with my current employment are with myself and not with the employment.
Well, you're your own employer, so.
I mean, yeah, that's the problem. To be honest. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, it's literally like as good as like any issue that I have with my life right now is completely self-construed. So
Is that a word?
self-construed,
Mykah?
self-constructed,
I think so, yeah.
Self-constructed. Shane,
Nope.
myself.
I mean, construed is a
Nope,
word,
I'm
so
looking
I
it up.
imagine you can say self-construed. It's probably not the
okay.
best option on
Please-
the Hemingway app.
Please
but-
edit this onto the screen right now. The definition of construed.
Self-construed, to give the meaning or intention of, explain, interpret, to deduce by inference or interpretation, infer. He construed her intentions from her gesture. Yeah, I'm more confused.
I think I'm adjacent. Like I'm like close. Like I'm somewhat close, but it's not really right. But
It doesn't matter.
Any issues
What are
in my
words?
life right now are self-constructed for the most part. Besides at my house, my wife is crazy. So
Oh, is that why you
that's-
wanted to
Besides
get
your
out?
house and
my
your
house,
wife is
my
crazy.
my mouse,
Your
my
mouse.
my mice are my problem.
Oh, you have mice. Ooh,
We do actually do have mice.
that sucks.
I made us as the rats, but they're not.
Ooh, I've seen some real rats. in
Anything that
Chicago.
looks like a mouse is a rat.
Yeah.
No, it ain't. You ain't seen these Chicago rats.
See,
They walk with a briefcase.
Oh my god.
At least they have jobs. At least it looks like they have
It's their
jobs.
computer. Working to improve the community.
yeah, we actually had to. Wow, this is really going off topic.
Went off the rails.
But we had to box everything in our pantry
Yeah, like
because
literally
they
in
had raided
storage boxes.
every bit of food
man.
we had.
so we had to go through
that
all of it,
sucks.
and
Yeah, everything's in a box now.
You guys live in a tiny house, right? That you built.
No,
No.
no.
That was
We-
just an idea from a while ago.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Okay.
But no, now we just ran.
Okay.
But yeah, they're not rats, but they're little mice with big
Yeah.
ears that just look at you.
They have no fear. Like,
You sure they're not chihuahuas?
like we'll like open the door to the pantry and like there'll be one just looking at you.
Like smoking a cigar. Like what?
And they'll just
She's like,
stare
I just
at you.
got off work. Leave me alone.
Like normally they like run off, but like they'll just look at each other and like I'll be looking at it and they'll be looking at me, and then like I'll move at it and it'll like run back to its hole and then it'll like look at me again. And
you gonna stay there?
I've had a stare down with a mouse for over 10 minutes. They have no fear.
That's a long
minutes.
stare down with a mouse.
And then one time Shane's like trying to get tongs out.
Yeah, I literally
A tong, a mouse.
yes, because I couldn't think of anything else, and like he was in his hole, but not really.
Shane
Like,
tried to tongue kiss a mouse.
I'm assuming it's a he. I shouldn't assume what the mouse's gender is, but like,
Yeah, you need to check his driver's license.
yeah, he was just sitting there looking at me, and I couldn't think what to do because he wasn't running away. So I was like, I guess I could grab it with some tongs. So I grabbed some tongs, and like I tried to grab it multiple times. It's like this big, so kind of hard to grab because it's
He's
running.
the size of an egg roll.
A spring roll probably
Size
be
of a spring
closer.
roll.
Aw.
These are more graphics so I'm gonna have to pull.
You're welcome.
But so like then like I did actually get a hold of its tail at one point, and I was like
Oh
But
my god, you were tonging it by its tail.
I was. But here's the problem.
Can we stop
okay?
using tongue as the verb?
You were tonguing it?
They weren't like the metal ones. They were like the silicone tipped ones, and so
Okay, so it was a
this
little,
was a no pain
it was a
tong.
little more humane.
Yeah, which actually led to the problem in that the tail just slipped through the tongs, and then the mouse made its way back into its walls, where I'm assuming they have a city built at this point.
Its
Yeah.
walls, aren't those your walls? Don't you own those? Or you're paying for those walls?
I don't own the inside of the walls. That's the rats, apparently.
The rats.
Oh,
I'm
they
sure
are rats.
it's mice with a rat king, is what I'm assuming.
Wow, we got a whole dynamic in there.
Well, I know they have
hierarchy.
They have diversity because I have seen black and white mice. I have seen brown mice. I've seen white mice. I've seen just gray mice. I've seen several different colors.
I've only seen the gray ones.
Yeah, I've seen. It's a very diverse culture and community
Wow.
of mice.
Darn
in the
walls. But yeah, Shane has an emotional connection to them now, and he won't set out traps because he'll
Obviously,
feel
he
bad
knows
about
their
it.
he knows
I
their
can tell
history
you-
and their dichotomy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I can tell you a story about literally tongs, tongs, mice, and a mouse trap if you want it.
Yeah, go for it.
Literally, my uncle had to tell this story at Easter. He couldn't wait to tell it. So apparently, he owns some apartment buildings, and in one of the apartment buildings, there is a mice problem. And there's a middle-aged woman that lives in one of the apartments, and she's been setting out mice traps. She tried to pick up the mouse trap with the mouse in it with tongs. She was like gonna throw it away, but it got stuck to the tongs. So she started to shake it like this, trying to fling the mouse off it. It got caught in her hair. Oh my gosh! She had a mouse trap, and the tongs all attached, stuck to her head. You have to call the freaking fire department or something.
Oh my gosh! I didn't know they handled things like that.
I don't know if it was the fire department. No, it was the police. Sorry, it was the police because they were like, "Why didn't you call animal control?"
I
And
don't
was
know
like,
what's
"Is that really
worse."
who do you go to? Like,
Yeah.
Well, when you have a mouse stuck in your hair, you're not thinking straight.
That sounds like a
that's what she said. She
hairdresser.
was like
911.
running around the apartment like, like just screaming bloody murder at the freaking mice. Can you imagine being that mouse though? That single mouse, like,
Well,
is
was like a glue trap?
yes, look,
Oh my
sticky
gosh.
trap, yes, yes. She
That's
picked up
awful.
tongs, yes.
So there's a subreddit called Rube Goldberg Fails, and I think that would fit perfectly because it starts with one small thing, and then it ends up with the police coming, getting a mouse out of her hair. That's so
stuff.
silly. All right, back on track. That's enough about the mice and all that stuff. So I thought that in order to get to know each other, we could tell each other stories from our past. The silly things that happened, embarrassing things, whatever you wanted to tell. I mean, I can start because I haven't broken any bones, but I have like so many things that I've done where I busted my head open. Shane, I'll have to give you a picture of my scar. You guys have seen it. That's been on there since I was 4 years old.
Yeah.
I was running across the floor when I was in pre-K, and my foot. I was wearing brand new British Knights, which for those of you born around the 80s, or alive around the 80s, those were sneakers, high top sneakers. And I was trying to run, and my foot got caught on the carpet, and I face planted right into the corner of a table. And hit me right above my eye. And I was completely unconscious after that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I woke up once to a man. I know he was a black guy, and he's wearing a blue shirt. That's all I remember.
Aw.
And he was like, he had those brown paper towels, and he was forcing them on my
Yeah.
head. I
The
could feel,
kind that doesn't even like
they
soak
don't,
up
they
water.
don't absorb anything. So which would explain why I saw the blood just running down,
Yeah.
dripping down in front of my face. And then I feel like I remember waking up when they were putting a syringe in and giving me a shot, and I screamed. My
Yeah.
dad says I didn't scream,
Oh.
but
You maybe tried to scream
yeah, it's
and you
possible.
couldn't.
It's
Yeah.
possible. Also, I was 4, so I could just be
Yeah.
making all this up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that, I mean, I've been hurt a lot. Like I broke my knee going down a slide.
What kind of slide?
It was like one of those metal ones that get like 1,000 degrees.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was like, water slide.
But remember, this is back in the 90s,
Yeah.
so yeah, I went down on my stomach, feet first, and my foot got caught on the side again with my shoes being too sticky. I guess I need to stop buying sticky shoes, and my leg went up above my head, and I broke my knee. I jumped out of a tree. I was in gymnastics for a long time when I was a kid, and I jumped out of a tree. So if this was the tree, people who are listening to this, I'm sorry you can't see this. Maybe you should go watch us on YouTube and subscribe. So I jumped out. This is the base of the tree here, right? And this is the branch. And I jumped out and I grabbed it, and my feet swung out from under me, and I turned like this. I lost my grip, and I fell all the way down to the ground. And I landed with my hands like right in front of me, and my face hit the ground, and I had a mouthful of dirt. And then my wrist, my arm bone, and my hand bone were no longer connected, as the song would suggest. They were not connected. So I stood up, and I knew something was wrong. You know how when you get hurt, you're just like, something is wrong. It started to swell up immediately, and I was like, I just left it hanging by my side, and I walked back. I just started walking back to the house, like, because our babysitter was taking us to the park. And I didn't say anything to anybody. I was just silent, and I just started walking back. And then my dad came from work, and he wrapped it up in a newspaper and an ace bandage to make like a little...
Yeah.
My dad did like sports medicine and stuff, so he knows a little bit about how to finagle a cast. But yeah, he took me to the hospital, and they were like, this is genius that you did that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, so that's just some little stories from my past where I...
So all of yours involved you getting hurt.
Well, just those stories. I'm sure I'll have some more. But yeah, those were just the first ones that I thought of. You told some from earlier about where you had to bury some stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, what other kind of stories do you guys have about what happened to you in your past? So, because I want to get to know
I mean,
you.
I have
How-
an injury story. Actually, I have two.
You have what?
I have injury stories if we're talking
Okay.
injury
Yeah,
stories.
let's just start with that.
I mean, I feel like it was Amanda was going to go. So
No, it's fine. You can go, Micah.
You guys,
no
are so
worries.
you guys are so polite.
I don't want to talk over anybody. So I actually... I
Hold
don't know
on.
if
You don't want to talk over anybody like you did on me in the intro. Shane, roll it here. Hey, everybody. Welcome
How is
back.
it the news?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, gosh, dang it. Sorry.
You're fired.
Wah, wah, wah.
I was going to do it,
Can
but it's too long.
anybody see the scar? Can you see the scar on my nose that is like, I know it's like barely.
yeah.
You'll have to like light it properly and send Shane a picture.
I mean, it's like,
Actually, I'll
it's pretty
probably be
much
editing this
invisible
one.
now. But it's like a V for Vendetta. When I was 2, I was running circles, pretending to be a horse in my living room, as you do when you're 2.
that's adorable.
And I ran into a fireplace and busted
Like a
my
whole
nose open.
fireplace?
Yeah.
Did you-
The fire wasn't on.
Right.
But I like ran
Did you not
into
see
a
it?
fireplace. So
She was
the way our living
2.
room was set.
2-year-olds have
I
eyeballs.
was just getting closer and closer to it because my circles were getting bigger.
Oh,
and
you're just
bigger.
oblivious
And
to
then
what
I
was
just
going on.
banged into it, scared the crap out of my parents. The other time, which arm did I break? I broke one of my arms. My brother flung me out of a golf cart. Our cousin, who was like 8 or 9 years younger than me, was running towards us when we were in a golf cart because that was a normal toy for kids in like 2005 or whatever. And she was like approaching us. She was probably like 2 or 3 years old, and she's like, screaming, Mykah, Jonah, that's my brother's name. And we're like, oh, okay. Oh, we're gonna let you on the golf cart, and we're going, and my brother just keeps getting faster and faster, and we're getting closer and closer to her. I'm like, oh my god, what are you gonna do? You're gonna hit her. So I like stood up, like I was gonna like jump out and grab her, and then he like turned real sharp right where like she was, and I fell out, and we were like on a small hill, and I went down the hill. I was like, my arm, it's broken. My mom's like, you're a drama queen. Your arm isn't broken. She's like, I'll bet you $75 your arm isn't broken. I was like, oh, I don't want to lose $75. Like, I didn't get that much birthday
How old
money.
were you?
11 or 12.
You had,
So again,
you had
worst
$75
person.
at 11 or 12 years old?
Yeah. Yeah, from like birthday money or something. She's like, I'll bet you if you don't put $75 on the line,
So you
that
want
it's not broken. So I didn't want to take the risk. I was like, no, I guess I am a drama queen, and it was freaking broken.
You could have been $75 richer.
I know. I think about that 75 a lot.
You want to know what I gleaned from this story?
What?
Mykah was raised rich. First of all, at 2 years old, she had a fireplace. At 11 years old, she and her brother were just
Playing
pounding
on a
around
golf
in a freaking golf cart. And she says, and I quote, Rob, go ahead and play this back after you say it. I guess that's just a normal toy that children have.
We were in a golf cart because that was a normal toy for kids in like 2005 or whatever. Well, that was like supposed to be ironic.
Okay.
It was like we really shouldn't have been playing
Okay.
with it. Like that's not
I
really
gotcha.
safe to like kids that are like
Right. Well, it wasn't
under
safe.
13 playing on a golf cart. Like
It wasn't safe for me
unsupervised.
and some of the people that I used to hang out with, because we would take the golf cart and do donuts at the
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff we would do. Like I don't even
Well,
know
I
where
was
the golf
like-
cart came from.
I was
We
like
just,
25.
Our grandparents had one. See, we were like children.
Right.
Shouldn't have been driving around.
Yeah,
in it,
if I had a
probably.
golf cart right now, I'd probably do donuts in it.
I would be eating some
It
donuts
was fun.
in it.
I like it was some of the most my most fun memories are on that golf cart until
That's
I
awesome.
got flung
Until
out
you
of
flung,
it.
did you not ride in it again after that?
I don't know. I feel like I did, but I was probably just very cautious.
Also, Mykah had $75 when she was 11.
That's what I was waiting for.
Straight
I was like,
rich.
Yeah. I had
That was-
I had a shiny purple piggy bank, and I had a lot of money on it. I cracked it when I was like a senior in high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you kept all the money just kept building up and building
Yeah,
up?
yeah.
until
I was building up my money. Yeah.
that's the purpose of
If
a
I
piggy
got
bank.
$5
Actually.
from the Tooth Fairy, it was going in there.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
$5 from the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, that's I guess
Hashtag
another
rich.
upper middle class thing. $5 from the Tooth Fairy.
So it was a quarter over here.
Yeah. I know a lot of people it's quarters, but
Right. I'm just picking on
our
you.
Tooth
I'm-
Fairy was rich.
That sucks for other kids too, though, because like I heard the thing where people are like, "Don't be saying that Santa brought your kids like an
No, that's
iPad
a
or
great
whatever."
point.
Because then you go
Yeah.
to school and you're like, "Yeah, the Tooth Fairy gave me $5," and they're like, "I got a nickel."
Like, what? Why was my tooth not worth as much?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Am I
Right.
not worthy of that
Your
$5
teeth
too?
suck.
That's
But that stuff, it affects you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not gonna get that deep on this episode. We will on other ones, but not on this one. What other stories you got? Anybody?
Are we wanting to do like childhood stories?
Just from your
or-
past, any time. Well, I mean, any story that you're gonna tell is gonna be from your past, obviously.
Yeah.
That was what, like a hit Mitch Hedberg joke. He's like, "Here's a picture of me when I was younger." He's like, "Yeah, every picture of you is when you were younger."
So I got my wisdom teeth all out last summer, all 4 of them, and I went under.
Ooh, I know what you did last summer.
Yeah, you do. I went under. Yeah, that was great. I went under anesthesia because I wanted to.
So you get to choose.
Yeah, you can either do it awake or under anesthesia. And I was freaking out anyway. And I was like, no.
So if you're awake, what do they give you, like laughing gas or something? I know you're probably not a dentist or whatever. But
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm assuming they just numb it.
Yeah, I think they literally just like numb your mouth. And
you just get
that's
to
it.
watch it
Yeah, no.
through a mirror.
But anyway, so the whole time I was under, this is really crazy. My brain made up this whole scenario. Well, first of all, I was in like a wormhole.
You were in a
like
wormhole?
like time traveling wormhole, and it
Okay.
was red.
The time worm.
Yeah, the time worm is what I said when I was high on drugs. After I woke up, I was like, Shane, I was in the time worm. I was like, what? But I was in it. I was like, I have to get to the end of this to find my body again, to wake up.
Oh, wow.
Scary. Well,
That is really scary.
midway through the procedure, my eyelids flutter open.
Oh.
And I just see like these bright lights in my eyes, and I feel tugging on my face. And the first thing that pops into my brain, I was like, how are they gonna know I'm awake? Literally. And I was freaking out, but that literally only lasts like 1 second. Then my eyes just went
Oh man,
closed,
that's
and then
scary.
I was back in the.
God, that's
in the
weird.
The, the anesthesiologist is like, "Oh God, I'm gonna lose my job."
I know, and literally, and then I'm just back in the
Time worm.
time worm.
God, that's weird.
And
That's so interesting.
and it was still red. I don't know why it was the color red, and then I finally found my body and I woke up. But
And that's really when you woke up.
yes, that's really when I woke up.
That's great.
I got to the end.
Man, the human brain is
And it
so
was my
crazy.
body.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
We need to do a whole talk on dreams
If-
specifically.
Oh, yeah. All right.
If
I'm
you
gonna
are
write
a
that down.
medical professional, please email that and tell us why Amanda saw the time worm.
Yeah. And what's really funny is the week after that, I went and got a colonoscopy, which was
Jesus.
not the best time.
That's a rough week for me.
Yeah,
Are you
literally.
sure?
No, I swear. And Shane was like, okay, if this time when you go under anesthesia, you go into the time worm again, he's like, well, no, like something's going on. I didn't. So
I
it was fine.
literally was like, this is how a cult starts.
Yeah.
It's like the first time you're like, okay.
That
You're
was a
like,
one-time
weird.
thing. Yeah.
But if it happens again, it's now a religion.
My God. But yeah, so that was crazy. And that was just last year. But that was the first time I've ever been under anesthesia. So
What I want to know is how the brain prepares, how it coincides with you waking up that you get to the end of your dream.
I know.
Like,
So-
how does your brain time that?
I feel like it does things out of order, probably, because like she probably started to wake up, and then her body was like, oh, or her brain was like, oh,
The
here,
brain
yeah, we've got
completed the
to
dream.
complete,
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
the random like
I
possibility.
mean, that's
I don't
what
have any
the only
idea.
thing that makes sense to me. Or else, like,
yeah.
aliens are real and everything else. It's like,
Time worm. Time worm is real.
I love that you called it the time worm. That's so
know.
funny. If you go to the time worm this time, like,
I know.
you need to-
Literally. I'm
That
just
is
like,
word for word what I said.
my face is just like swollen. Like my eyes are barely open. I'm like, Shane, I was in the time worm. I was in the time worm.
So that was one of those times where like, you know, whenever people come down from anesthesia, they always have those crazy like
I love
those
I
videos
love
of those
people in
crazy, yeah.
anesthesia.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the problem, okay, is that, like, besides that, Amanda was so high. I mean,
Yeah, right.
so high,
Yeah.
but she just, like, acted completely normal.
I
Yeah.
always like
There was nothing funny.
Yeah.
There was no good
like-
wisdom
Yeah.
tooth video.
just all
nothing.
seriousness.
Besides, Shayna saw the time worm.
Yeah, that's all I would talk about.
That's not
I was like
that could be a
obsessed
Beatles
with
Such a
it.
letdown.
I was obsessed with it. I was
saw
like,
the time.
can you believe this just happened to me? Like, you're not gonna believe it.
let's do the time worm again.
I guess in my brain I was like, that really just happened. Like that
Yeah.
was reality.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. So anybody else got any stories before we move on?
I mean, I can double back, and this is gonna sound like way worse than it probably was, or maybe it was pretty bad. To being injured.
Is this gonna be a true story? Because
No, it's true.
Because one time in our childhood, Shane lied to me that he got hit by a minivan. He
Why?
kept this lie up for like 10 years.
You just
So,
wanted
like-
to seem cool.
Yeah,
Like,
so,
you
You
like-
still
man,
married
so-
him.
It
I
started when I
didn't
was
find
like,
out it was a
when I
lie
was
until
10.
after we got married.
That's an annulment right there.
It started like when I was 10. Like, I can't remember. Someone was saying something about getting hit by a car. I was like, oh yeah, I got hit by a minivan once on my bike. And then the problem, you ever like tell a story that's not completely true, but then like
No.
it keeps getting brought up, and so then you keep on saying it, and then eventually
Add
you're
more
like,
detail.
did that actually happen?
You were
that's
asking if you've ever held a lie so deep and close
you
to
both
you
started
that
to
you
believe
started to believe it.
You're like, did I
that's a
actually
thing. That's
have
a
that
real
happen?
thing.
No, for a doubt. Don't
No,
doubt it.
so
I
yeah,
doubt don't it.
basically,
I don't
I
doubt
just
it.
kept saying that over like basically from 5th grade till we were out of high school.
You were
And-
seeing it in your mind. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, and then eventually, like one day, I was like, Amanda, like I don't think we were having like an actual conversation about it. I think it was just like, hey, I need to tell you something.
Literally, he brought it up like that. Like, hey, I have something I need to tell
He's
you.
like, we got to talk. And you're like, oh, God.
I never got hit by a minivan.
and I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, you're the worst.
But so my story is that whenever I think I was 4 or 5, I got hit in the head with a baseball bat by my cousin. So I think he was like too old to be like sword fighting me with baseball bats. Like that's how I think he was like 9 or 10. Like, and I was 4. So
Oh, Jesus.
yeah, I didn't have a helmet on, fortunately, because
Lucky for you.
yeah, lucky for me, because yeah, we were sword fighting. I'm like 4 years old, so I'm just like,
Yeah.
like aluminum bat, and the way it was told to me, because I don't remember it very well for obvious reasons, is that like he basically like teased me up. Like I'm like this, and then he just like straight up like
Did you say he teed you up?
yeah, he basically teed like just straight up donk just right in the middle of the forehead. Okay.
So he like
With
took
an-
a couple
with an
practice
aluminum
swings.
with an
bat.
aluminum
Yeah.
baseball bat.
Wow.
And so what I remember sword fighting or something similar.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just remember flying on my back and the helmet. I literally can remember like visually
Yeah.
the helmet flying in the other direction
Oh, it
with like
flew
a
off your
hole
head.
in it. Like with pieces broken off of it. And then
This is
Jesus.
probably a toy helmet then.
and then I remember getting up and like I wasn't hurt. I didn't feel hurt or
Yeah.
anything. I was like, huh. And I was like, and then he ran away, like not into the house, like he just ran off. And I was like, I need to go in the house. And so we were at like a family reunion because this cousin was actually from Virginia, so it was like a big thing. Like we were all
Yeah.
like my whole family was together, and they were all inside the house. And so I remember walking up the stairs to my grandparents' house. Walking in the house, there's a kitchen just full of adults sitting there, and I literally just walk in, and at this point, I remember seeing
gosh.
blood dripping in front of my eyes, and I remember looking at my mom and be like, "Hey, Mom, I got hit with a bat," and then I remember screaming, and that's the only thing. That's like the end of my memory. I don't remember what
She
happened
just
after
screamed
that.
like, ah!
But she
Or
was like,
like,
"Ah!" and then like that's all I
because of the
remember.
blood?
Yeah, I'm assuming
gotcha.
because like I can literally I remember like it like dripping past my eyes at this point and being like, huh, but I wasn't in any pain.
Oh my gosh.
Probably because I was concussed.
This is just so funny though. His mom will scream like literally she will.
Like just like,
Literally. Okay.
that was actually probably exactly what it sounded like.
So
what kind of scream are we talking?
Oh my gosh,
a few
Micah.
years ago, we were all eating family dinner at her house, and it was broast.
Broast,
What
beef,
is it?
beef roast, broast.
It's made from one of those dude bros at the gym. Somebody catfished him and cut him up and cooked him. We had a broast for Thanksgiving.
But no, we had a roast, and I actually started choking on it, like legitimately choking.
dang.
And I like stood up because I was freaking
Yeah.
out, and I was like tapping on Shane, and Shane was eating. He's like, "What are you doing?"
You don't mess with a man while he's eating.
and then he was just like staring at me, and I'm like.
No,
And
no,
Shane's
wait,
mom,
wait.
no.
Okay,
And Shane's
Go ahead.
mom literally starts screaming, "She's choking! Oh my god!" And she's like running around the kitchen. And I'm like, I'm gonna die. These people are just watching
It's
me
so
choke.
funny. Like she's like freaking out, and you're just so calm. You're like, I guess
and
this is
Shane
it.
is just like, "What are you doing? Why are you
Okay.
standing up?"
the reason this happened like that, all right, is because
Oh, he's got a serious voice on.
she did not display the universal sign for choking.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was
Which is very
choking.
important.
Is that not this?
She did not
This?
touch her.
Yeah.
She literally was like, okay, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to show you exactly what it looked like. She literally stood up from a chair and was just like,
So
and
scared.
I'm like, I'm sitting here eating my delicious mother's roast. Because my mom's roast is the most delicious
Yeah, it's
roast
so
you'll ever
good.
have in your life. So I'm trying to eat my food. I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you, what do you want?
Literally, exactly
And then
like
that's
that.
when my mom goes, she's like, she's choking! Oh, that's
So
gonna
did she,
completely-
was she like running in circles and like
She was literally running around the table. She was like, oh, and then, okay, sorry, this is kind of gross, but then finally, Shane literally was coming around to do the Heimlich,
Yeah.
and I literally just threw up all over the kitchen floor, and my sister-in-law was like, "Oh my God, why are you throwing up on the floor
Are you
right now?"
kidding?
No, and she's like, she's
What's
crazy.
wrong with your
Shout out
sister?
to Carly.
Yeah, thanks, Carly. She's like, "I can't believe you just thrown up on the floor."
She's
I was
my
like,
favorite
I was
person.
like, well, I was dying, so.
How old is Carly?
She is.
She just turned
yeah,
16.
She just turned
So she's
16.
probably like
Okay,
14,
okay.
15 at the time.
I was picturing a grown woman like, ew, how dare you throw up over our breast dinner?
Yeah, she is the
Gross.
youngest sibling.
Oh, but yeah, that was crazy. So yeah, she will scream
The
about
visuals of
things.
that are like really making me laugh.
So Shane, you were telling a bunch of stories, and like 3 of them came back to me with stories that I was going to tell. Like, so first of all, you were talking about getting hit by a car, or you were telling that Shane lied about
Pretending
getting
to
hit
get
by a
hit
car.
by a minivan.
So we were playing hide and seek one time, and so I wrote this. Me and my imaginary friends.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's so sad. Okay.
No, this was like last week. No, No, this was like, I don't know, 25, 30 years ago, something like that. We were playing in our neighborhood, and we were playing hide and seek, and I was hiding across the street from the base. And they found me, and I started running, and I ran, and there was this giant van parked in the road, and I just ran right out in front of it, and I couldn't see the road.
Yeah.
Obviously, the people in the road couldn't see me. And I ran out in front of a car, and they were teenagers. They were probably speeding. Amanda's like, oh my God, what happened?
This is so scary.
So I wrote this story on Reddit one time, and they were like, that didn't happen. They didn't believe me. They didn't believe me at all. And I was like, I promise it happened.
Yeah.
So I jumped over this car, like over the hood of the car, and I did a cartwheel on top of the car. I put one hand, maybe two,
Wait,
on the
how
car.
old were you again?
I was like 10, 11, something like that.
You're saying you jumped over the car, and when you were jumping over the car, it felt like you did a cartwheel.
No, I did a cartwheel. My legs
You
went
know
up in
for
the air.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, because when I landed facing the car, and I did a back roll, and I stood up onto my feet. Like, do you remember when I
Like
mentioned
Spider-Man. You're trying to tell me you're Spider-Man.
Right,
Okay,
right.
Rob.
So I understand why they were like, I don't believe this, but like it 100% happened.
Like, why does no one believe
Why
me?
is that? Well, probably
Editor Rob,
probably
please
because I'm
insert.
380 pounds.
Well, also,
Yeah,
you
but
did
you
take
weren't then.
gymnastics.
Yeah,
so
I was
maybe.
I was in gymnastics. I was gonna say, like,
Was
if
this
you
car
remember,
low to the ground? Like,
It-
I'm
it
just
was
trying
a-
to figure out how you got that air.
I think it was probably a smaller, like it was the 90s, so it was probably a smaller like sports car.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. It was white,
Okay.
and it was like it had a slanted hood. I remember that. It wasn't a Lamborghini.
Why is it always white cars? Shane's imaginary van was also white.
Well, the whites are they're a problem. What were you gonna say, Shane, about to editor Rob?
I was gonna say, Editor Rob, please insert a picture of yourself as Spider-Man. Thank you.
Just a real bad Photoshop of my face.
That actually reminds me of another funny story. This is a Benny story, actually, though. I
Ben-
don't know if I can tell a Benny story when Benny's not here.
I feel like
I know.
Benny probably has
I'll tell you what. You have him record it, and then we will insert it.
Well, it's not like I was there when this happened.
Right.
Oh, okay.
He was trying to show his sister, their whole I'll just tell it. Sorry, Benny, we don't have to include this. I'll get your permission before. So there's this funny Spider-Man video on YouTube we were trying to find for her. For background, all his family is like Anglican, like quite conservative Christian. So this is the oldest sister. She's like in her late 30s. He was trying to pull up this video for her, and he kept pulling up. This isn't really funny. It was only funny if you were there. Now that I'm telling you, he kept pulling up videos from some guy on YouTube that just makes like super perverted Spider-Man videos, and it's just like. Because she's a pretty serious person. She's like a doctor.
I feel like you told me that. No, you've told me stories
maybe-
about her before.
Yeah, she's
very
the most
serious.
serious of all the siblings, and every video he kept pulling up was just like filth, and she's just like, like, what's wrong with you? And, like, we couldn't get it together. It's only funny if you know
But
her and
no,
him.
that's relatable because have you ever tried to show something to somebody and either you can't find it or you just keep finding things that are very inappropriate? I know.
In that situation, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like that, it's very relatable. Like I've been through that.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody else has.
Yeah.
So there,
I've never been
it's
through
a
that.
problem.
leave a comment below if you've been through that situation. I'm trying to get some interaction on YouTube.
Yeah.
So one of my other stories was you were talking about getting hit with a bat.
Yep.
Same thing happened to me. So we were playing baseball in a courtyard of our apartment complex we used to live in. My brother hit the ball and then he ran while still holding the bat. And he ran past me and he hit me right in the chin
Ouch.
with the butt of the bat. He didn't mean to. He just
yeah.
did it. So there was that, and that I kind of saw stars. And then
Yeah.
we found my dad used to have a truck, and it was a gold S10 for anybody who wants to like buy one. It was a 1990 something. I don't know.
S10 of what model? You just said a
Oh,
gold S10.
it was a Chevy.
Chevy S10.
Okay. I don't know the model, so maybe other people look at that.
Yeah, it was a Chevy S10. It doesn't matter. Anyway, we were hanging out in the bed of the truck, or we had pulled up to the park, and we were looking for a baseball, and we saw in the back that looked like a softball where the skin had come off of it. Mm-hmm. So we were like, cool, let's use that. So I went up to the mound, and I pitched the ball to my brother, and he hit it right back into my face. It hit me in the mouth, and I lost a tooth. Luckily, it was a child tooth, so I have
baby
all,
tooth?
I have all my teeths now. But I again saw stars. Turns out it was a croquet ball,
Oh.
and it was incredibly
Those are
solid.
heavy.
It was solid,
You're
Yeah.
hurting me.
very solid,
Yeah.
and he hit me right in the mouth.
Yeah,
Why'd your
that's
dad have-
terrible.
Why'd your dad have a croquet ball in the back of his truck?
Well, if you live in a big city and you park in your driveway, which is right on the road, people can just chuck stuff into your vehicle.
Oh,
So there's no
I don't
telling.
need this croquet ball anymore. Sorry.
Yeah.
you
There's no
can.
telling where it came from. We probably found it playing somewhere and then just threw it in the back of the truck when we had to run inside. But yeah, so that was a bad day. Getting hit in the mouth with a. So I don't know. I'm assuming it was a croquet ball. It was a wooden sphere.
That sounds
Essentially.
like a croquet ball.
Yeah, it did not feel good. Amanda's
I've
like,
also I've cracked a tooth, but I honestly can't tell this story on the internet.
So I think we could probably go into talking about some embarrassing stories like that happened to us as a kid. So I have one right off the bat.
I have sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. So when I was, you guys say that like I'm gonna, like you're in trouble. Like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like people
Please
are gonna
don't beat
think
me when they turn the cameras off.
that's what I was gonna say. They'll be like, he beats us. So I'm wearing a red shirt, so you can't see the blood. This guy was smart. He wore the brown pants.
This guy's got the right idea. He wore the brown pants.
Anyway, so when I was a little kid, I was in drama and the theater and acting and stuff, and we did this play called The Crocodile Rock, and I was a crocodile, and I had to wear a green leotard, and I had a tail. There's video of this somewhere, and I've never been able to find it. One of my relatives has it. I don't even know if they know they have it. But I was on stage, and we were doing The Crocodile Rock, and there was a part where we had to turn around and shake our tails, and mine fell off. So you could see my underwear through my little green leotard. So I bend down real fast and I pick it up and tie it. And my parents and my family would talk about this constantly. They'd just be like, "Remember that time?" I'm like, "Yes, I remember the time."
Every time we all saw your underwear.
Well, it was a packed theater. This was in Houston,
Yeah.
Texas.
Yeah.
So it was a big
Yeah.
theater and it was packed. So that was, I mean, I was little, so it wasn't super embarrassing. But like, I do remember being like, "Oh my gosh, I got to pull that up." So I had to bend down and pull it up, which was
Was there not just a fart noise? Did you else hear
My
that?
chair treat.
it was his chair.
It's like,
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Or do you just not get embarrassed?
No, I do.
oh, I have
for
I
sure.
have an actual funny one too.
Go for
Oh,
it.
good. It's about
Could
time.
lighten the mood. So growing up, my family was in a group of 3 friend groups. We're 3 families. So they were the Hills, the Bells, and the Williams. I'm the Williams. And we would eat out together all the time. And all the kids would always sit at separate tables because we were annoying and our parents didn't want to be around us. They're like, I just want to drink and not like hear my 5-year-old be like, Roblox or whatever. Roblox weren't a thing then, but they are now.
You got to make it relevant.
Yeah. And we just decided that we would make up a whole fake scenario for our lives and like tell our waitress our life story. So my brother, who is a
can see
very
where this is going.
Caucasian-looking child, decided to tell our waitress that his name was Lorenzo. Mine was like the rest were like normal white names, but he went with Lorenzo.
Right.
And my brother was a cute kid, and at one point, the waitress went up to my parents and she was like, "Oh, by the way, like that little Lorenzo, he's cute as can be." And they're like, we don't got a kid named Lorenzo." She's like, this is your table, right? She's like, "Oh gosh, like am I supposed?" She's like, "Yeah, that's our kid." She's like, "That's Lorenzo." She's like, "No, it ain't. That's a kid named Lorenzo. His name is Jonah."
Was he dying laughing when she was doing that?
No, because we were just like, "Oh, are we gonna get in trouble now?" Like we were just having fun. I was like, "My name's Katie. My name's Lindsay." Like we all had
Right.
like white sounding names.
I always give dumb names whenever that happens. Like my go-to is Pedro for me.
Pedro.
Yeah, and then somebody was like, "Oh, hi Pedro," and I'm like, "Oh my
It's
gosh,
also
I
funny
can't
to
let
me
that
that
go."
they would believe his name is Lorenzo, because it's like, how do you go from like Katie and like Alice and then, oh yeah, this is Lorenzo.
Right.
Like,
You got-
that just
you
seems like
got
a big jump.
Braden and Taylor, and then
there's
and
Lorenzo.
Lorenzo. All these white
So that was
kids.
his nickname for a long time.
That's awesome.
And occasionally we'll still be like, Lorenzo.
The first time I meet him, I'm gonna be like, "Lorenzo, right?"
That will be really funny. He'll think that's funny.
No, he's probably gonna. Does he watch the? Is he gonna watch the podcast?
I'll send it to him.
Okay. Well, then I
Hopefully
won't be able
he'll
to
watch
surprise him.
Like you're mentioned, so you need to
Like
watch
you're
it.
mentioned in this
Right.
podcast. So.
But if he doesn't watch it, he won't know that we've called him out. What story you got?
This.
I want to laugh at you.
Well, this was really embarrassing to me at the time. But I was in kindergarten, and I was going to a school in Missouri. I had just, like, moved there. And it was like a short span of time though. So I was like the new kid in school. Well, when I get there, everyone starts telling me that there are bats that live in the bathroom.
Oh, God.
So I'm like terrified of these bats. And, well, as it happens, I just start peeing my pants all the time in school. Like literally every day I'd pee my pants.
Because you wouldn't go to the bathroom.
Because I'd be too scared to go in the bathroom.
It took me a second to make that connection. I'm like, why are you scared? You peeing your pants because there's bats in the
No,
bathroom?
yeah, I literally,
What is
and
that?
so I'd pee my pants every single day, and then everyone was making fun of me because I was peeing my pants.
That's terrible.
And then my teacher like started like forcing me to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I just remember like every time I'd like run in there and like go as fast as I could, like looking around for the bats. And yeah, it was just embarrassing because then everyone was calling me like the pee pants girl.
That's
It
so
was
creative.
awful.
Nobody wants to be the pee pants.
I know. And then like I finally was like, oh, there's not any bats that live in there.
Did
Like,
you ever like tell the teacher, but I'm afraid of the bats?
no,
or-
and that's why I don't know why I didn't tell her. Like, I'm afraid of the bats that are in
That
there.
right there.
I
That
never
would've been
said
like, what is-
anything.
That right there is why like movies can happen, because like they don't communicate and they don't tell. Like if you would have just sat down with them for like a minute and been like, hey, I think this is not the way it should be, or this is something that's happening, the movie wouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So that's what it was. That's
Yeah.
why, because you're just like, I never thought to tell her that I thought there were bats in the bathroom. I just assumed she knew it.
Yep. So that was like super embarrassing few months for me in kindergarten.
That's so mean.
I know.
Man.
Mean.
Kids are literally
mean.
the worst. Like, why? Why are we so mean? Like, why?
Like inherently.
Everybody's looking at me like I have an answer. I don't know.
You specifically.
I don't know. I don't
Shane's
think.
gone right. We should look at him. Why'd you make us so mean?
Yeah, if you don't understand that reference, go check out the last episode.
If
Provided
anyone-
we put it in there.
Is
If
it like a evolutionary thing though, like to single people out so that you stay on top and they
I
like
think-
like
I-
what it like I can't.
I think that is it. It's an ego kind of thing where you're just like I
Like, I have to
need
have power
to beat
over you.
Yeah, I got to
Yeah.
beat somebody else down so that I
Yeah.
can feel superior.
Whoever thinks that like people are not born inherently bad has never been around a child. That's just true.
I don't think. Well, I want to say I don't think it's inherently bad. I think it's like they're pushing the boundaries. They want to see what the rules are.
there's some kind of.
I
It's
don't
like
know.
when you first play a video game, you're like I'm gonna see what I can do to break this game.
I'm not sure because I'm with kids all day and
Oh, here we go.
they know the rules. They know what's expected and then they just still do it.
Yeah, they want to see how far they can push it. It's like when you're playing a video game, you want to see
I mean, I
how
guess-
far you can push
I guess
the,
that's
the,
true,
the
but-
boundaries of the game.
But they have the same consequences every day. Like they know what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like why do they make the same mistake over and over again?
Because they want to.
Perfect. That's
Well,
it.
punishments obviously aren't working.
Yeah.
My mom would threaten to like stop at an intersection and beat our bare butts, and that worked for us. Like,
My dad would do that in the store. He's
Yeah.
like, I will beat your butt right here in the
Yeah.
store. And I'm like, ooh, that would be embarrassing.
yeah, exactly.
My dad used to go, whenever I'd get in trouble, my dad would be like, bend over and grab some ground. And I'm like,
Ooh,
Terrifying.
and he would hit me one time in the butt. And I'm like, I'm done. He hit so hard.
Yeah.
Because he was like a grown man and I was a child.
Well, yeah.
As it turns out.
Because he was a grown man, I was a child, right? Like,
Right. Yeah.
Just to clarify.
Just to clarify. My dad was older than me.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I just have this boy in my class right now that we're
What's his name? Call him out.
not,
Out him.
I'm not.
What are his parents'
but
names?
we're really struggling. He just like is being mean to all the other kids, like calling them names, like cussing at them.
Does a lot of,
man.
you think a lot of that stems from like their home life and stuff?
Yeah, I think probably has a lot to do with it. But I think also there's just something in there that it's just like
you're just evil, man.
like I just feel like everyone has like a little piece of them that's got like, you know,
Right.
just a little bit of bad.
Just a little bit.
But yeah, I mean, every day he knows, like, I'll talk to him and be like, what are the rules? Like, you know, and he'll repeat them. What happens if you break these rules? I have to sit at the table and talk about the rules. So he knows this, but every single day like multiple times a day. He does the same thing. And so we sit at the table, talk about the rules, and miss out on playtime.
Do you think that he hopes that he's not going to get caught? Like he want because like
Yeah,
I would
I
assume
think-
people get arrested over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Probably are the same way. They're just like I'm probably won't get caught.
There's
this
just
time.
no
Yeah.
self-control.
Yeah,
That could be it
that
too.
too. He just has no self-regulation right now. So
Well, like, here's a story. This is pretty good from my childhood. So this is a childhood story where I should have been embarrassed, but I wasn't probably. So I was in kindergarten. No, I think it didn't help that I actually knew my kindergarten teacher because my grandma.
It'd be weird if your kindergarten teacher was a stranger to you.
Right. I mean, they
not your
they
teacher.
usually start as strangers though, but she did not. Well, it was probably part of it, but like my grandma worked at the school whenever I was at the elementary school when I was a kid. And so all of her friends were like teachers and staff. And so I actually, I knew that kindergarten teacher before I even went to her class because she was one of my grandma's friends. But I remember one day, so there was a discipline system, like red, yellow, and green, like a stoplight, right? So if you're on green, then you're good.
good.
If you're on yellow, you probably didn't do that great. If you're on red, it was real bad. Like you were not too
Yeah.
good this day. And so I can't remember what I was doing that day, but it couldn't have been anything good. And I remember she came up to me and she said, "I'm going to put you on red." I said, "Okay." I said, "I don't care."
That's an insult today if you
Okay.
leave somebody on red.
you're so funny.
I said, "Go ahead. I don't care." And she's like, I'm going to tell your grandma." I'm like, "I don't care. Go ahead." I'm like, "You go ahead and put me on there." She said, why are you acting this way?" I'm like, I remember looking at her dead in the eyes. I'm like, "Because I know tomorrow I'm just going to be back on green again."
That's savage. That's real savage.
And then she got really mad at me and kicked me out of the classroom.
Yeah.
You went past red on that one.
Yeah.
Apparently.
You went to invisible.
Stop.
I'm good.
I understood. I think the real problem is I understood the rules too much. It was too much understanding
Yeah.
of the rules.
That's true. How old were you?
I was 5.
Oh, that's
this-
good for a 5-year-old.
This kid has power over me. I don't like that.
I remember her. She was so mad.
That's funny. That's a good story.
man.
So, man, I'm about to tell some stories about my brother. So, my brother, he used to fight his teachers, like physically fight them. Like he got. Shane's like,
throw hands.
Shane's like, I'm in this one.
Square up.
Yeah, literally. So he got in trouble doing something. The teacher walked up and poked him in the chest, and she was like, "You blah 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 something." And he pushed her over a desk.
Oh my lord.
Was he big? I mean, what?
Well, we've always been big.
How old?
I want to say 3rd grade.
Jesus.
Too much for me.
I'd be like, I'm done teaching.
I know.
You gotta come up on your mic.
I said I would be like, I'm done teaching.
Right. Yeah, he would do stuff like that all the time, man. He even today, he doesn't take crap from anybody. Like he's that type of dude that's like no BS from anybody. He's like,
I know, but an authority figure, like the cops pull you over, like, man, you're speeding. No, I wasn't. Like, what are you gonna do?
well,
Roast
no,
me?
if he was speeding, then he's like, yeah, I was speeding. But he didn't do anything wrong. The teacher was just like getting on him, even though the other kids were the ones doing
No,
stuff.
okay.
Always blame the teacher.
Yeah, the teachers
That's
are
what
bad.
you heard.
Yeah.
Right.
Might not be reality.
Right. But whatever it was that happened, like
Yeah.
he pushed her over a desk.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
That's concerning.
That's
For
ridiculous.
their strength level. She must have been really small. I mean, like, but like a 5
Well,
foot
I mean,
skinny
look at
lady.
me. Like we were
Yeah.
big kids.
Yeah.
I mean, like, to be fair, I mean,
It might have been
you
5th
two,
grade, but I want to say it was like 3rd. But it was
but even more, Randy, like, you guys are wide. Like, not
Yeah.
like fat wide, but like, you're very, like,
He was built
stout.
wide. Yeah.
Randy is wide. He's got,
Yeah, like,
he's
you are
short.
kind of, but he is like,
Yeah, he's short
He
and
is
wide.
very, like, I could see him being a scary individual. You know what I mean?
Well, when he played football, man, he was like, he has the strongest legs I've ever seen of anybody that I've ever met. Like okay, when we would fight when we were kids, and he would get on his back, and I couldn't get to him
Yeah.
because he would just push me away with his feet over and over and over again, and I'm like, I will hit you. But what sucked is he used to hit me and then run to my dad. So like my mom was in the hospital, like in a coma for 5 years or whatever, but like my dad was or whatever.
Casual.
I like how
Sorry.
or whatever.
Sorry, it was 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's I've
well, and
I've come to
we
grips
all
with
know it
Right.
too. So
Right.
it's like,
Yeah, but they don't.
yeah, they're like, what?
Yeah, whatever, whatever. No, she well anyway, my dad was raising us by himself because of that. And we were pretty rambunctious. And my brother, he does not like authority. Well, he doesn't like authority when they take advantage of their authority or their power or whatever.
Yeah.
But he also he was a troublemaker when we were younger. He just liked to cause trouble. So I learned this thing where you could like run your hand in front of your mouth when you're blowing out air, and if you do it behind somebody, it feels like you spit on them. And I did that to him one day, and he thought I spit on him. And I was laying down, and he poured cheese on my back.
Why did he have cheese?
I knew that question was coming. So when my dad would give us our allowance, we would walk down the street to go to Wendy's, and we would that was all we could afford was just like a thing of cheese and some fries.
Oh my god.
Oh, like cheesy fries.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess Wendy's had
I'm like, what? Like a
cheese back
bucket of
then.
cheese? Like, I'll have the bucket of cheese, please.
This is straight idiocracy. We're just like drinking cheese from a straw. No, yeah. So he had his leftover cheese or whatever, and he just dumped it on my back. And he immediately ran inside to my dad, and I come in, and he's already there. So I show up, and it looks like I'm trying to attack him. And my dad's like,
But
"What are
you
you
had
doing?"
cheese on your back, so
Well, I mean, it didn't matter.
that's just every Tuesday.
Right. That's a Tuesday thing. Yeah, no, it was all the time. He would hit me and then run to my dad. Hit me and run to
Oh
my dad.
god, that's annoying. Oh,
Yeah.
that would drive me crazy.
I did something really bad as a sister. Like, it was awful of me. I knew that my brother, Jonathan, he would bite me all the time when we were like little kids. Well, this one time, I was like, if you don't do what I want you to, I'm going to bite myself and tell mom that you did it. And he wouldn't listen to me. And I was like, well, I'm not your friend anymore. And so then I bit myself like hard, and left like this huge bite mark and went and crying to my mom and said, Jonathan bit me. And yeah, he got his butt whooped. But
With your giant canines, how'd she not know it was you?
But yeah, it was awful. Sometimes I still think about it to this day. Like,
Man.
but then again, he peed on me once, so it's
On purpose?
yeah. We were outside like playing, and we both had to go to the bathroom at the same
You
time,
said we.
and we stop. We raced into the house, and I was like, I have to go first. And he's like, no, I do. So I make it to the toilet first and sit down.
And he sat on you and peed.
No, he didn't sit. He stood in front of me.
Oh, well, yeah,
and
he's
a
peed
boy.
on me. And peed on me. And I just remember, like, I was peeing. I couldn't get up. So I was, like, screaming.
Yeah, that was a very weird situation to
Yeah,
be
it
in.
was
What
crazy.
do I do?
Literally. And, yeah, so I was, like, 7, and he was, like, 5, so.
That's a funny story.
That's sick.
You know,
Yeah.
like when dogs, like when they're pooping, how they like look every little time. That's why. It's because once you start, you cannot stop.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
I have a story about racing inside. So my dad would go to work, and then we'd be home alone for most of the day. Because sometimes he had like 5 jobs, and he'd work like 16, 18, 20 hours a day. So we would be at home, and we would invite our friends over, and we'd be playing outside, kickball, whatever. And we had this thing where we would take the water hose, and we would turn on the water, and it would run all day. And we would like make it rain with
But
the
your
water
dad
hose.
loved that.
He never said anything to us about it, so I just assumed water was free. So we would like do the water hose, and we'd put our thumb on it and shoot up in the air, and we'd pretend like it was raining, and we would make fight movies that are in the rain and stuff. And we were fighting over the water hose one day. Everybody was like rolling around on the ground, like trying to take it from each other, like boys do, you know, just like wrestling and stuff. And we rolled through a fire ant mound.
Oh.
And if you don't know what fire ants are, because, you know, if you live up where we live in the middle of the country, like they're not really prevalent, but they're these red ants that will just bite you. And there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, possibly thousands of them that live in one mound or hill or whatever they're called. Colony. So I wonder which ant first colonized. Anyway, anyway, we rolled through this ant hill, and they like covered us, all like 4 or 5 of us, and everybody ran inside. My brother and then like 2 or 3 of our friends all ran inside. They were going to jump in the shower to get them off. Mm-hmm. We had these 2 dogs, 2 golden retrievers, and we had this giant like 10-gallon bucket outside that we had just filled with water. And it was probably about, I don't know how full it was. It was empty enough for me to be able to pick it up. And I dumped it on my head. And everybody else ran inside. So I'm like, I felt like the smart brother that was like, all right, cool, I just got them all off of me. And everybody else is fighting over the shower inside. But yeah, that was one of my stories, was that we ended up getting covered in ants. My brother is deathly
terrible.
allergic to them, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was he okay?
He was fine. I don't think they got bit. I don't think anybody got bit near as much as you would expect.
Oh, okay.
But when my brother was a baby, he sat down in a fire ant mound, and they just started covering him.
Yeah.
And my dad saw this and ran over and grabbed him, and he said they were in his hair, in his mouth, and in and out of
God, how long was he
in his ears. He's a baby, so he
Yeah.
probably just sat there and didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
They were in his diaper, in his ears, everywhere.
Oh my God.
So my dad picked him up, put him on the hood of a car, and just started like swatting as many of them away as he could. And he said that was the first time that he ever prayed in his life.
Wow.
Because my dad was an atheist for 17 years.
Really?
Now he's a pastor.
Yeah.
But he prayed and prayed and prayed, and then when he got all the ants off, he had gotten bit one time right on his hand. Out of all those ants, he got bit once.
Wow.
So that was kind of a cool story.
Yeah.
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 So thankfully, my brother is alive because he's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah.
You hear that, Randy? I think you're all right. If
Yeah, all right.
If you're watching
Hey.
this, you're right. Yeah.
Oh, I do kind of have a funny, interesting story, actually, I guess we can finish on.
Yeah.
So the same group of families that I mentioned previously, we would always go TP.
The one that you were the Williams of, right?
Yeah, the
Okay.
Williams and the Bells. We TP'd like almost every Halloween time, and like our parents took us to people's houses that we would TP. I know it's bad, but whatever. So there was this girl
have
that
a TP-ing story.
my friend Taylor was like an arch nemesis with. So she wanted to TP her house really bad. Apparently she got the address wrong.
Oh my god.
So
gosh.
while we were there, this guy comes out and starts waving a gun.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
and it's like, get out my effing lawn, blah, blah, blah. So we freaked out. This guy gets in his car. So we run to our vehicle and are all piling in our vehicle. As we're getting in the vehicle, Taylor, who is the girl I just mentioned, the car door got opened on her face and like busted into her
Oh, wow.
nose. So we were like packed in sardines, and like my mom's like whatever it was, like a Dasani. That's water.
That's the world's most disgusting water.
Not Dasani, it's a D car.
Denali?
Like SUV. A Denali, yes. A Dasani.
Dasani.
Another reason to believe that Mykah was rich.
A Denali. Like just a ton of kids packed it, and then my mom panicking because she sees this guy. This guy chased us all the way to where
Wait, your
was
mom
it?
took
Like
you to go
Collins-
TP a house?
Yeah.
I like your
That's
mom.
what I'm saying. Like our parents were just like chill
Right.
AF. So this car literally chased us to I can't remember where it started with the C. It wasn't like Carterville. I want to say like Collinsville or something like that.
Probably Crystal Geyser.
Maybe I don't know.
That's the name of another water.
Okay, I was like, I mean, that might be a town around here. I don't know. Yeah, this guy chased us in a vehicle, like for, I mean, literally
That's
an hour
terrifying.
driving.
That seems kind of
An
excessive.
hour?
Yes, I mean, it was crazy. We got on the interstate. I mean, he was chasing us on the interstate.
Did you guys
It
not
was
call
crazy.
the police or anything? Oh wait, you probably didn't have cell phones then, did you?
I think there were cell phones. There were like flip phones.
Right.
Flip phones. I don't know why we did. I guess it was just like a moment of panic, and we were like so in
A
disbelief.
moment. That's an hour.
I know, but like, what? It was panic the whole time because Taylor's like, oh my god, my nose is broken. And my mom's like, oh, your nose isn't broken because my mom never believes bones are broken after so, like, she's like, you're all drama queens. Her nose wasn't broken though.
Right.
But literally there was like, I don't know, probably like 8 kids just all like screaming, crying, like, oh my god, like it was the
I
wrong
feel
house.
like-
That was not her family.
By like an hour, like, are you just like, man,
It
are you
was-
still
it was about an
here?
hour
Like, come
from
on.
my memory that he stopped. Like he just turned around.
Like, I feel like that's just like annoying at that
So
point.
what
It's
do
like
you?
it's insane. It's like we TP'd a crazy person on accident. And we were just a couple houses off.
What do
and
you think was going on in his car while he was?
I have no idea. As far
Was
as
he
we
like,
know,
"You
he was by
darn kids"?
himself. I mean, I think so. Yeah. I mean, there were like a flock of us. There were probably like 8. Like I said, like 8 or 9 of us. Like
I'm just imagining him like white knuckled, like
With, like, death
I
metal?
remember-
No, like loud classical music.
like, dun, dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun,
literally.
dun, dun.
gun in one hand, wheel in the other.
like
He's like, I'm gonna get him.
I just,
I mean, I'm surprised you didn't like shoot at the vehicle. Honestly,
I can't.
We were panicked, obviously.
Well, he was driving, so he may not have been able to load his gun while he was driving.
It's just like that's such a rage response,
Yeah,
and
for
I
an
get
hour.
it. We had like TP'd his house pretty bad by the time he noticed us,
Right.
but it's
Well,
just
but not only that, but to chase a woman
Yeah,
and
it was
children.
my mom.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying a man.
I don't know if he knew
chase
she
a
was a
woman and
woman
children.
driver though. She was waiting in the car. Like they just sat in the car and waited for us while we did our thing.
That's terrifying.
The only reason we were able to make it out alive, I think, or else
Was it
that
all
guy would've-
girls?
Mostly, I think there was my brother and like one other like friend of.
Yeah, that would be
Taylor,
terrifying.
It's just
Yeah.
TV. Like I can't imagine. Like I can imagine like for like a minute being like, I'm
like,
so
why
mad
was
I
he
have to
so
clean all this
angry?
up.
Yeah.
But like
Maybe he just found out his wife was cheating on him, and he's like,
Still,
this
like,
is
Clearly
the
unhinged.
How do you-
for
this is the
sure.
toilet paper that broke the tree's back.
how do you keep up that rage
For an hour
hour?
while driving.
Like
Well,
It
maybe
was insane.
Maybe it was a sunk cost fallacy where he's like, it's been 30 minutes, I got to keep going. Maybe
I
I'll
mean,
stop.
we got out of Marion. Like it was. I mean, the fact that he chased us that far to begin with, it's like just spending gas
Like, that's
money.
so
I get
far
it.
out of
It's
your
like the early
way.
2000s, but yeah, it's
Gas was
crazy.
$1.40. It's fine.
It's crazy. I should really. My mom would probably tell the story better because she just loves to mock all of us and the whole
Wow.
experience.
Can you
We'll need to
imagine
bring
being
your
the
mom on sometime and have her tell some of these stories.
Can you
Oh,
imagine being
she's
the
also
parent?
very huh?
Can you imagine being the parent of that?
mean, she was the
And
parent.
that's what I'm saying. In that situation, like you're
My
just like,
mom is just like she's like a
We're
balls to
being
the walls. Like
chased.
she's whatever. Like I carry. Like I'll shoot at you if you shoot at me. Like she's just like she's not like
Well, the wife of a cop,
easily
yeah.
scared.
Yeah.
Well, my dad wasn't a cop then.
Oh.
My dad became a cop like under
Well, the
5
wife
years
of
ago.
a future cop. She knew what was
My
coming.
my mom was going to be a cop actually, so that was
Well,
like
yeah.
what she had considered before she ended up becoming
That dude
a nurse.
didn't know what
Very
he
different.
was getting into.
Yeah, it was a journey, and as far as I remember, we were the only people that were chased because there's like a couple other cars. Like we didn't all go in one car.
Right. Oh, okay. So, he was like, he just had to,
he chased
pick
us
one.
specifically.
he
Yeah,
just had to pick one.
yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Man, that's scary. It's funny now, but that had to be so scary.
Yeah.
Were you guys keep
I'm
looking
gonna
in
ask
the
her to
back?
tell it again because I feel like there's so many details I'm missing out on.
Yeah, we'll have to bring her on and have her tell. We'll just ask her. It'll be like, well, here's what we need to do. We need to bring on everybody, each individual person's parents,
Has
like
one
at some
parent.
point. Yeah, one parent at
That'd
a
be funny.
time, and then
Yeah.
everybody grill them about stuff that happened about the other ones in the past. So look,
Oh
look
shoot!
for
My
that.
mom has so much like trash on me. It's like not even.
Look for that in the future. In a future episode, we're gonna
Yeah.
bring on our parents, and we're gonna find out a bunch of crazy stuff about each other. So I have a TP story. We may end up
Okay.
cutting this out, but when I worked at Redacted, a fast food place, and nobody liked the manager at all. I don't know why we didn't like her, but we didn't. We called her Mario because she had a mustache.
That's terrible.
But so we got 12 people together, and we bought 93 rolls of toilet paper. And we went, 12 of us, all dressed in black, ninja'd our way to her house down the street, and we took our time just covering everything in toilet paper. We threw it over the roof of her house, over all the trees. We wrapped it around the banister the banister, is that what it is? Like where you, on your front porch area.
Oh yeah.
The light that was next to the front door, like everything was covered in toilet paper, and we used all 93 rolls of it. And then as we were leaving, you literally could not see her house, like when we were leaving.
Dang.
gosh.
Yeah, we were never that good.
So we drove by it and took pictures of it on one of those disposable cameras. I have no idea where that went. Like for all I know, it's still undeveloped.
Yeah.
I don't know who owned it or whatever. But anyway, so we found out later that night somebody had stolen the 3-wheeler out of their garage.
Oh, so they just assumed
And
it
they
was the
thought
same
it was
person.
us.
Oh.
They thought it was us.
Because
So
they knew it was you that TP'd.
somehow they found out. There was probably a leak in the
People always find out.
Yeah, there's a leak in the
Yeah.
Ninja Assassin League that ended up telling her. But it turns out it was their neighbor who had stolen it. But yeah, so that was kind of an interesting story. And I recently found the note that my brother wrote to us telling us how much to buy, which storage shed we were storing it in.
Oh, you
And-
had it in a storage
Yeah,
shed? Dang.
we
Yeah.
planned this for a while.
Yeah.
All right, I think I'm out of stories. Anybody else? We're good. You guys good?
I think I'm
Good.
good. Yeah.
Awesome. So you guys, I want to go to this main camera over here. If you like these videos, do the like and subscribe thing because that helps us out. And also follow us on Instagram at nonsense.podcast and check us out on all of the podcast platforms. Probably not SoundCloud. I don't know. That's a joke from our other podcast that we used to have. If you can find it, comment below and tell us what you thought of it. Anyway, we'll see you guys later.
It's going to be so hard to find.
Bye.
Smash it. Smash the subscribe button with a hammer.